I think so. This is I tried. I think I did it. I'll turn off my phone. Hopefully this isn't gonna cause any issues because I just want this to go. I don't really care about the quality as long as it gets out there and it's not too bad of quality. I guess I do care about some quality, just not too bad of quality. So let me go back. Here we go. Stream is not finished. It says excellent connection. Stream health. Stream is healthy. Let me hear myself real quick. Okay, it says it's good. So that's all I could go. I'm gonna delete this message. So yeah. It doesn't say any issues are arising. So I'm going to take that good. So let's pull up all my stuff. I gotta get this image up and running. Should all be good. I don't want to install that right now. Perfect. I'm about to say, I like how it went auto. My auto is the lowest quality because I'm currently streaming. Yeah, okay, that looks good. I'm gonna pause that so it doesn't mess with my settings. Make sure OBS is doing good. OBS is doing good. I'm gonna start recording too, just so I can, if I want to edit this later, I can. So, yeah. Let me make sure everything is working. So purple goes on purple, orange goes on orange, green goes on green, red goes on red, and blue goes on blue. So yeah, just kind of doing random stuff. Let me save this. Here we have our board game. If you want to, anyways, just trying to fix something real quick. So this is our board game. It is called Exploding Potatoes. Let me pull the rules up. And so if you've played Exploding Kittens before, I'm trying to make sure you can see all the text in one. Perfect. If you've played Exploding Kittens before, it's similar to that, but it's hot potato instead of just don't get the exploding kitten. And so here I got some rules. Each player starts on the designated spot and gets 3 cards. I think I gotta change these rules just up a little bit. Close that out. I think I did like an IRL testing game just to see if it even works, because you don't want to make something that doesn't work fundamentally. So hopefully, fingers crossed that doesn't come up. So I needed to change a couple of these rules because this is like the first draft. Each player gets a turn. Moving a space, any order. I don't think I'm gonna have that one. But each player gets a turn moving a space, playing a card, and drawing a card. I'm going to actually rephrase that. So each player must move a space, draw a card to end their turn. So it forces them to move and to draw a card. And then we'll have can play a card if desired. So you have to move a space and then draw a card in your turn, and then you can play a card if you want to. And it's only playing 1 card, so it's not anything stacking wise. And they do start with 3 cards. If a player lands on the same space as an exploding potato player. And exploding is technically spelled wrong, but I'm going to stick with it because I think it's funny. If it sticks on the same space as an exploding potato, it will exchange hands. It will go to a wheel to decide if there's more than one player. So if, for example, I have my board here that I was using. Blue is our exploding potato player. We can move such as this, and blue moves on to green. Green will now have the exploding potato. It will transfer the green. There's nothing green can do about it. However, if, say, for example, orange is also there, and blue goes on there, that means it's essentially a coin flip whether it goes to green or orange. You could do something Mario Party style where it's like a battle mini game, but I think for a simple board game like this, it's going to be a bit too complicated. Phone stuff. But yeah, it'll just be essentially to a wheel because that looks a bit more interesting. So after 3 turns, so essentially after the board has gone through 3 times, the exploding potato will explode and kill the player who it currently has. So essentially, in our current state, with blue being the exploding potato, if it goes through all players 3 times and blue still has the exploding potato, he's out of the game. There are some cards that change that, and we'll get into the cards later, but that's the essential gameplay loop. That's what we're going to be aiming for to actually make in the 4 hours, and obviously as much content as we can. I'll put a timer up when we actually start programming because this is just explaining stuff. Obviously last player standing wins. There's not any complicated win conditions. It's just last player standing. Anytime a player gets eliminated, the exploding potato resets, which just means it goes to a different player. So other than that, these are the base rules. Obviously, if we come up to a situation where something happens, we can define another rule. But let's go into the difference between hot potato in this game. Put all the potatoes together, we'll have the Infinity GLaDOS. I was about to say, it really looks like the Infinity Potato Gauntlet. You are right. I guess we could do gauntlet. We could do, Infinity Gauntlet, I don't want just a gauntlet. Perfect. Copy image. So we can do something like this. And then this actually has to go right here. And then we could put that there, that there, that there. It's not the same colors, which kind of sucks, but it's whatever. Orange there and purple there. So there we go. They come in with the best concept, really make a really good game concept so far. Thank you, Vincent. As we can see, we have a new board game with the Infinity Gauntlet. I actually don't really care about that. Just delete this layer entirely. But it is really the Infinity Stones of the potato world. Obviously, I'm not going to go for this realistic style. I just needed to make this was made in 10 minutes. So it's definitely not going to be a perfect board. So, oh well. But that is essentially the game in a nutshell. We don't have, let me get all this stuff up. We don't have any complicated rules that mess with anything. And so, yeah, I've actually tried to make this before, but it kind of puttered out because I was trying to just make a game engine over it, which I shouldn't have done. I like doing that, but I shouldn't do that. Obviously a game engine would just make this easier, but I really prefer working with HTML Canvas because it does a lot of cool stuff. So other than that, that's about it in terms of the board. So let's go to the cards. So yeah, we have cards. Some cards help, some cards hurt. That's kind of the point of this, is to make it to where it's interesting. So obviously, if you're drawing a card each turn, if it's all positive, it's not going to be a fun playing experience. Well, it is, but not for people who have the potato. So keep cards secret unless specifically told not to, and those are about instant cards. If you have an instant card, you have to do whatever it says and put it back. If given an instant card, use immediately and draw another unless told something different, which that rule hasn't been implemented just yet, but whatever. So we have 38 cards. This is based off a real deck of cards that I made. So we have, it looks like people are over there. But we have Better Carbs, which is just move an extra space. We have Teleporting Potatoes, which is move to another player's spot, which, I'm going to put that in question marks because I think this could be better. Either swap or something that doesn't involve just move. Like, it has to be like a bit of a, because it's really powerful for the Exploding Potato Pearson to do this. Which, man, dropped a d6, which would roll a d6, and wherever you land, it would correspond to these middle spaces. So if you roll 1, you get an A. If you roll 2, you get a B, etc. And then Take Backsies, which is essentially just a protection against the Exploding Potato if someone gives it to you. So in our example with the blue and green in the middle, if green had that, then blue wouldn't give the potato to him. It would just not do anything. It would just not go. It would go back to blue. Bit Risky. This is for the Exploding Potato player. I'm just making everything in a Minecraft GUI as a mod with you can basically get all the boilerplate done for you. No, that's horrible. Could make it in Minecraft. I mean, technically anything can be made in Minecraft, so could just make the board game in Minecraft. But speaking of which, I will discuss what I want as like an end product before I even, because like having this all planned out kind of makes the 4 hours just straight development, which is good. I think I just messed with the rules a little bit. Put that back. We have Nopes, which if you've played Exploding Kittens before, it essentially just stops from doing anything. Like, so if you don't want them to move, just do a nope. Or if you don't want them to play a card, put a nope, and you can actually nope a nope, where it becomes a yep, and it just nopes the nope, and it cancels each other out, which is, I personally think that's a really funny and fun gameplay thing, because you just have a ton of nopes just being dropped. And so we go to our instant ones. We have Instant Potatoes, which just you immediately get it. There's only 2 in the deck, so it shouldn't be too crazy for that. But I know that's what I wanted. I wanted some of the negatives of drawing cards. And then we have no carbs, please. If you drew this, you can no longer move. And if you've already moved, you have to move back to where you originally were. So it's just stopping the movement, and then you're on fire. Quick, discard your whole deck and get 3 new cards, which is just a reset. So if you get this, it's not too bad. Depending on what cards you get, it could ruin your game plan in your head, but whatever. And there is room for more cards. I'm not against it. I just know that these cards work with the balance. How many these numbers represent how many cards are in the deck. So I know this balance works ish. Maybe rules need to be changed and whatever, but that's what I am gonna try to do after the fact that this is developed. And so, speaking of that, save all this stuff. Speaking of that, I think I'm going to discuss what I want specifically. I'm going to try to make this a web game, because like I said, I'm going to be using JavaScript, and hopefully I'm going to make this like a Jackbox style game where you can just play with your phone or on another device. That way, not only could you have local gaming sessions where you could just pull out your phone or computer or whatever and play. But you can also play with like around the world people. I think online board games is a thing that's needed a bit more. Obviously, we have like Board Game Simulator or Tabletop Simulator, Board Game Simulator, and that's really good. But I think like free Java, JavaScript, potato, Kappa. I don't know. I wish there was like the Twitch emojis, because I don't know why I said Kappa. There's probably an extension that I'm missing that probably does it for you. But sure, yeah, Java, JavaScript, totally the same. But so let me do this exploding potatoes. Yes. So let's get that open. Make it a project right now. So we have essentially the global Twitch emote. I know, is that what the extension's called, or is that just I know it's a Twitch emote. So I could do dual streaming where it's both on Twitch and YouTube, which kind of makes the interactions weird, because it's depending on what you get, a follower, subscriber, you have to handle both, and there's stuff that does that. That's the extension. Okay. Let me look at that. Global Twitch. There we go. Yep. Perfect. Let me see how this works in terms of me. Because there's that. Or do I have to install or enable it? It's currently unfiltered. I want this one to... Oh, there we go. I have to... It's a specific stuff. Save settings. Okay. And refresh. What do you mean you don't work still? Oh, never mind. There it is. All right. There we go. Thank you for that. Now I can see Kappa everywhere. Yeah. All right. It kind of... I don't like how it replaces the faces, but I can't do much about it. They're like the text emotes, or just type it out in chat, just like something like this. I don't like how I replace that. I always like the sideways faces. I don't really like the emojis that they auto replace it with. But yeah, so let me just get this set up. Exploding potatoes. And this should just run. Run this on a local server real quick. npx serve. Pull that over here. And I also, why did it? I also want it to be a specific art style. I'll bring that up right now. I'm just trying to get everything set up. Rough.js. So this is what I want for the art style somehow. I don't know how just yet. But I do want to use this. It has this library. It does a bunch of hand drawing stuff, and I want it to look like this because it's, first of all, I like it, and secondly, it's a different style than most things are, and also reminds me of Scribble.io. I don't know if yeah. So like it reminds me of this this game. I don't know if wow. It has mobile support now. That's nice. I was about to say, so I haven't played this in a while. It's been a while since I've played this, but I want it to look like this, essentially. Not exactly, because the Scribble.io is very specific. Goodness gracious. I'm trying to see if I can do anything about that. That is quite loud. Give me a minute. I will do this. So, okay, let me see if this one works. Or I just put a little bit of... It's probably not going to work, but there's nothing I can do about it, so I can't really stop it. But I will be doing the challenge. This is more for me than it is for anyone else. So, because I want this idea on writing. I just don't know how to do it specifically. Also need my phone real quick, so I have some vestige of communication besides my computer. But yeah, okay. So yeah, this is what I want the style, and so I'm going to be looking into this. I looked into it before, but it has a couple of issues that I have with it, but I'm just going to work around it because I'll explain it when I actually start messing with it, which is going to be later on. I'm not going to use this immediately. So yeah, so let's get started. Let me put a timer up. Timer. Oh, I'll do a stopwatch actually. Ooh, not full screen. Ooh, ew. Can I just I want this to be the whole window. Is that possible? Is that possible to do? I gotta go to my OBS and do this. Add a window capture. Okay. Perfect. That is what I wanted. That's the same type. Good. Client area. Don't capture. I don't know what the difference is between that. So yeah, I could probably also crop. Is there a way to crop this? Transform? No. I can set a red color. That did nothing. Don't know what that's supposed to do. High transition. I don't think that there is. Is it a filter? Oh, it is a filter. Okay, that's weird. So I can crop out this one. Window capture, then select window, then crop. Okay. Oh wait, top not negative. I want to be positive. Do 30, 100, 200. Oh, perfect. Okay. Right about 50, and then bottom also about 50. That's 500. Okay. Actually, that could be a bit less. 100. Perfect. Actually, top can also be 275. Left about 50 as well. Right 400. Good. All right, I think that's a pretty good amount. And I have it in a separate window, so I can actually press start whenever I need to. Yeah, I'll put it there just so you can see the time in the corner. Let me see how this looks on my end live. I know, like it's ready to go. I'm ready to work for several months. But yeah, so we should have everything. I'll put this in my other window so I can have it as a reference. Close anything I don't need anymore. So if you hear anything in the background, I don't know what they're talking about, and hopefully they don't say anything that will be weird. I'm not scared of them saying anything bad. I'm scared of them saying something weird. So make sure everything's working. I think we're all good to go. So if I do this, I have the rules up as well, but that's not really for now because we're trying to do a bit of a setup. So we can actually start the timer. Okay, so we have 4 hours to create what we need. So obviously, running the canvas element. I'm going to make it take up the entire window. So that's going to take a little bit more setup. than usual, but it's not too bad. So margin, auto, and overflow hidden, so it doesn't do anything weird. Because you're on full volume, it just sounds like, and it still just sounds as background chatter. Okay, that should be good then. I don't know. I have a mic that's facing towards me, so that's probably helping a lot. But you also, I don't want to do that. You're probably also hearing my keyboard type a lot, which may not be the best. I don't want to bring you the bad news, but the timer doesn't work. Do I actually have to have it up? What do you mean? Do I have to have you up? Oh, do I have to have OBS up? Okay, I guess that's the problem. Because like no I can't. Can't minimize anything. Is it working now? About to say I get the, I think it is. Yeah, okay. Also tells me how much I'm behind on the stream and where I'm at right now. So it kind of helps in that regard too. So pretty simple. I'm actually gonna make this a bit bigger. That should be pretty good. Close that up a little bit. You can see that text, right? I made it a bit bigger just so people can see it. We'll add a script tag. We'll add another one, source index.js. And that should be it for this at least. So let's get that going. So right now I'm just going to get this board that we have here on the screen, which shouldn't be anything too complicated. I just got to figure out a better way of doing it than hard coding, because what if I want to fiddle around with it? So we have canvas and context. We'll need a request animation frame. So request animation frame for loop, and then window.add event listener load. Actually, let me start the window.request animation frame from here. And then this will be just anything initialization wise, and then this is our update render loop right here. So this is just a pretty simple thing, and just to prove that this is working, fill style is equal to, we're just going to fill the background with this color. By the way, is my keyboard making a huge typing mess, or like you hear it and it's a bit of a mess? Because if it is, then I could just move the mic away from it. I'm just trying to make sure that I can just do that anyways. Move it like behind it, where I'm. Oh, I can do this. I can just do this. That'll somewhat work. Okay. So now it's behind it, so it shouldn't be as bad. Clicking mechanical keyboard. Yeah. I just got it recently. I got a new keyboard recently, so it shouldn't be much of a problem. So there we go. Got a canvas element. It's taking up the whole screen, and the only thing I think is, yeah, it doesn't resize super correctly. As you can see, it maintains the aspect ratio. So we do need to modify it in terms of what happens on resize. So we just add another. I cannot type actually for this case because the cord's in the way. So I have to do that. Okay. So we need a window.add. Actually, let me do that on load, just in case. So window.add event listener, resize, and this just resizes. So canvas. Actually, I need this to be a method, so I can call it once the window is created. So const resize is equal to a method where canvas.width is equal to window.innerWidth. and canvas.height is equal to window.innerHeight. All right, and then we just call resize. Call resize anytime that we want to call, or we resize the method, and then we could just also just call resize as it is, just so we can resize the window. So now if I do that, we can actually test that. It looks like it's resizing correctly. Yeah, okay. So, good. We have that at least, the basics. So now that that's done, we need to get this board on here. So obviously I could do an image, which does make sense, but I really like exact measurements. Let me think. How do we do this? Because the thing is, this side and this side aren't the same. Like, these aren't the same, but I want these triangles. Actually, let me think. I know obviously one way I can do this is just let spaces equals an array of spaces with a bunch of like stuff for how to describe it. But I'm trying to think of a better way that doesn't require me to do so much math. We obviously I wanted to go off the center because D is in the center, and we could just make that. Let's just make a hexagon real quick. Let's just draw a hexagon real quick, and I'll just get here. Let's just draw a hexagon real quick. So this doesn't require much, just for loop. Hey Philip. Well, lightweight Java game library is, I'm gonna say, non-existent at this point. I haven't really touched it in a long while, which is a shame. But I kind of moved on from it. I mean, I'm sorry if you were coming here for that. I'm kind of moved on from a lot of stuff, really, because not only am I in college, but now I'm trying to find work, and game development is kind of a hard thing to do, especially when you're still in college and don't have that experience just yet. So I've kind of moved on from it, but I'm still trying to do cool things. Obviously, I'm trying to make a board game in 4 hours, which I'm 7 minutes into, and I only have this. So let's we need this. Let me wait. So it's, I'm trying to remember how to do this. So it's I times math.pi times 2 divided by 6. I think that's all. So I think that's right. Oh, and then the radius, the radius is outside the cosine. 200. So go, and then y is sine. Obviously that, and then we need to, it's okay. I mean, I know that that's what my tutorial series, like, that's the main stuff on my channel people go for, but it's just, I've kind of moved on from it. It's not like I don't want to do stuff like that, it's just I'm not the person to do that. I think now there's plenty of good tutorials out there, especially with Lightweight Java Game Library, and I honestly do not think Lightweight Java Game Library is the best place to do stuff like that anymore. That's just a me thing, though. It's not really a definitive opinion or definitive thing to say. So I'm sorry, but I gotta do some weird action where if it's the first one to be used, move to, but move to, and then if it's not, then context.line to. Oh, and we need to, since I'm trying to make it a path, begin path, context.close path, and then that is not at all what even is that? Stroke. And this should just be like a little black line. So stroke style is equal to that, and then line width is equal to like 5. So let's see this puts out. It's wrong because I didn't plus canvas dot width of 2. I can just translate actually. So before we begin the path, we just do context dot save. Go down here, context dot restore, and then we go up back to save, and we just say context dot translate to the center of the screen, canvas dot height. All right. That's the wrong hexagon. I do not think that is right, because this is our hexagon we're going for, and this is what we got. So it's a bit small, so let's just let radius is equal to 300, and just replace these two. There we go, a bit bigger. Good. And so we also need to rotate it. So we actually need like something like this. And it's like 90 degrees. That's that, I think. And so that should be the correct. Yep. Okay, perfect. So now we have our hexagon as we have here in our image. Just gonna, I don't really care about the pieces just yet, so I'm gonna turn those off. So we have our pieces here, and well, we have our hexagon, not our pieces. And so yeah, one thing. So we know our radius is 300. So from here to here is 300. I don't know what actually is to here. That's different math. But we could just put it like 300. Let me see what a circle looks like. So stroke and then context, begin path, context dot close path, context dot stroke, and then we will need that arc function for the circle. Arc, this is at 0, 0 because we translated it already. The radius is radius, and 0 to 2 math 2 pi, which can't do it exactly like that. So this is the circle around it. So what I was saying is that we could do it kind of like a mathematical way where we take like here, like this, and then divide it evenly, but we don't exactly know that distance unless we have to do math, which, you know, it's not the fun part. And then we have to find the distance between here and then the distance between here. So that's what we could do it automatically. Like we already got the 6 points here. That's just because it's a hexagon. It's the simple part. So I guess what we could do, now that I think about it, what about resizing? See, that's, our radiuses have to be a variable amount too. So everything's gonna be based off, it's gotta be based off a radius. So let me actually think. So 300, I can do canvas.height divided by 2. Or actually that's gonna make the entire thing. So divided by, actually times 0.75, because I know divided, is that, yeah, it's too big. Times, let me just divide it by 4. Yeah, too small, that's what I thought. So it's like, not divided by 4, it's between a half and a fourth. A third. Good enough, it's good enough. So, but now this should be a variable amount. So this is what I kind of want, is like being able to resize the window, because I know my laptop's like, this is the size of my laptop compared to my desktop monitor. So I want to be able to account for that. So I think we need to define it based off radius. Well, we could just do it like this. But that, it could work, but we'd have to define angles for all these, which we'd have to figure out the angle between here and here. Like we'd have to figure out these angles, which we could do. I don't know if I want to, is the problem. Because, like, we could do this where it bisects this, and then this one's just straight. It could work. Now that I think about it, this one, it could work. Because if I wanted to bisect this and bisect this, we just have to figure out the radius still. See, that's the math I didn't want to do. But, you know, just gonna suck it up. So with that, I think that's how I'm gonna approach things. So I think with spaces that we're just gonna define it like this. So our angle for the first one is just gonna be, it's actually gonna be, actually that's, hold on, plus 90 degrees. It's got to be minus 90 degrees. So minus math dot pi divided by 2. Because, should I name these? I think I should name these because I think it should be an object where I name them. This is blue, I think, right? Is this blue? No, this is yellow. This is yellow. So this is yellow. And then the radius, that's got to be based off our variable. So we could make this a function so we could get that radius. I don't know. I think, I know what, I just do it based off, we could just multiply it. So if it's the radius, it would be 1. And then that should be it. So, so we don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. And so this should be all we need right now. So let's just go through spaces. Oh, I can't do that. I have to do like object.keys spaces dot for each space. But this is the space ID. So I could do, no, I'm gonna need it. I'll need it. I'll just do let. So this is our rendering function. So this is rendering our spaces. So we need to fill with, I'm gonna do black for now, just to, I'm gonna do circle actually, so begin path. This is something a graphics library would help tremendously with. It's just not having to do so much boilerplate. Fill, like begin path, close path, fill. It just call a circle function that does the circle. So it's going to be pretty similar math to how we did it before. So math dot cosine space dot. Oh wait, this is a string, so I have to do spaces of space dot x, right? Or not dot x, dot angle or radius dot angle times the radius. So this is going to be radius. Oh, but that's, and then we have to have a global radius, which is going to be, that's going to be what we had before with letter radius equals canvas.height divided by 3. And so that's going to be something like that. And y is going to be the same thing, except sine. And then now we have our x and y. So what we could do is we can do x, y, radius, 50 pixels, and then 0 to 2 math pi. And then that should work, at least, wrong one. That should work for this one up here. So there should be one right here. And it is. And it's actually kind of big. So I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to get my alt tabs right so I don't mess with them anymore. It's kind of big. I'll do half that. It's still kind of small, 30. It's still kind of small. 40. Perfect. Okay. So this is our first space. This is supposed to represent there's yellow space, but we don't have anything. We don't have any way to render this. We actually could. We could have like its own render method in here with the context. Let me get this. Let me make this look all good. I don't have any like linter on this. This is a fresh install of VS Code. I have a linter to go along with it. We're also going to need like an X and Y actually, and size. So our context is obviously our context here. X and Y is where it's going to be placed, and the size is the size. So we could now customize it. So now we can just do yellow, and size is here. And so then we could just do spaces of space dot render the context, the X, the Y, and the 40. So now it renders based off what it is. Okay, and it's yellow, so you know it may not be a bad idea. So that's our yellow space. So our next one is going to be red. Red. And it's not going to have just math.pi divided by 2. It's also going to now add math.pi times 2 because it's the whole circle divided by 6. So I'll put that in there just so I don't confuse myself. Still radius of 1, but it's red now. Which should, because of how we did things, it should scale pretty good now because we have the ability to do this now. So next one is purple. This one is 2 times this. Technically I could have it here just so I can like have this and just have 0 times it, but you know, it could, like this could also just be divided by 3, like this entire thing, which I might just do. So divide by 3, so 0 times that, and then this is purple, so that's purple, and I actually might make this smaller just to like see what it looks like together. Yeah, here we go. And so we have yellow, red, purple. Our next one is orange, and it's going to be pretty similar. It's always going to be a copy and paste at this point. Orange. It did not move. Oh, it's because I literally forgot to move it in terms of that. So we have those 4 colors. Got some nice warm palettes going on. So let's ruin it by using green. Hello Ahmed. Welcome to the stream. I am currently making a board game in 4 hours, and so you were obviously not here. I don't think you were here for the beginning part of it, but it's called Exploding Potatoes. I probably should just put the like a text thing in there so I don't have to keep explaining it, but you know, I literally just started this project like a couple days ago, so it's not like, well, I guess a week ago because I had to do the test, but yeah, so I think that's good for our board game. By the way, Ahmed, here is our board. So here's our board. It's called Exploding Potatoes, like I said. It's essentially it's a mix between Exploding Kittens and Hot Potato. So you pull cards to play certain moves, and then you move around on the board to avoid the player with a hot potato, and then if you have the hot potato, after a little bit, you die. You get eliminated from the game. So right now, we're trying to make the board in this web version, so that way we can interact with it without me having to like move these pieces through paint.net layers. yeah, so right now we're just defining where these pieces are going to go, and I just wanted, the reason why I'm doing all that math and rendering stuff is because I want it to be resizable according to the window. Maybe the circles need to be resizable because obviously, I mean, maybe we're not going to be getting this small with it, but I wanted it to be resizable in terms of this stuff. So yeah, and probably another thing I just noticed when doing the resizing is like if we get to this point where it's like super wide, it might cut off. So we might be able to fix that with a little bit of miniaturizing of which dimension we're using. So if we do something like this, we should be able to solve that issue real quick. So it just uses the minimum size. So it won't help in this case because it's already small, but we have our pretty simple little thing here. So our next problem comes in terms of getting these middle pieces, because it's not exact radiuses. I don't think that's the right term, because we don't, with this math, I don't know what I know what the angle is because it's halfway through it, so it's halfway the angle between this, but I don't know what it is in terms of radiuses. So let me just get something there. So this is our A tile, so I'm just going to call it A. I'm just going to make it black for right now. Black, and then our angle is, what is our angle? So it's 4.5. Okay. So 4.5. Or 5.5, sorry, 5.5. And so obviously we have this, but I want it to be here, or as close, along with the blue and the red. So I don't know off the top of my head how to do that. I'm assuming it's actually quite easy because this is 0.5. It's not exactly. What about 2/3? Maybe it's just that simple. Nope. Okay, so I'll put that back at 1. So we have to figure out the radius between this, from here to here. We have to figure out that line, pretending that this is a straight line, which it isn't. So we can actually, now let me think about it, we could do decimals. If we could do stuff with that, we could do stuff. So we have, let's plot at least these 2 points, because that's what we're dealing with. So we have sine of, what is it, 4 pi over 3. Hello, meowing kittens, hello. I need a table. Right now, you know what, I think I'm going to stop the timer right now, because I'm not going to do anything development-wise. I want to make sure I use all my 4 hours towards development. I'm just going to make sure that this rules sheet is available for anyone at any moment. So I'm going to go to like a past bin, and I'm just going to put this rules sheet in here. About a day. I don't really need it. Rules for exploding potatoes. Okay. And so here's our paste. Perfect. So I'll put this, first of all, in the chat right now, and then I will also put it in the description. Explanation of rules. Cool. You can get angle by doing simple geometry. I know I can. I'm just, it's not coming off the top of my head. That's why I'm trying to. Let me get a table so I can actually plot points. So the x is the cosine of 4 pi over 3. And then the... Is that the angle? I feel like that's wrong. Yeah, that's wrong. Is it? What is it? Oh, I forgot. I have to minus pi over 2. And then minus pi over 2. Oh, that doesn't even... It doesn't work. Oh, it's because... I know why. It's because the way that Canvas and how these graphics work, it isn't the same. I actually close out rules now. It isn't the same. So 5.5 times math over 3, and technically, so it actually is like it's 5.5. Also sine, not cosine. What if I do minus 2 here? Is that right? No. That doesn't look right either. Let me do it how I'm currently doing it. See, minus would put it down there, but plus would put it up here, which is where I want it. And then I could just do this. Just do it by geometry. What's the geometry? Am I just an idiot? Give me a minute. Get out here. I'm going to be using the most exact tool for this job, Paint. So we have ourselves a hexagon. Pretend it's perfect. And we have these are 300 away. Put that in the correct place from the center, which I didn't mark. So we're just gonna pretend that that's not the center. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. That is okay. That's the center. That's the center right here. So I'm gonna erase all this. Even though, see, this is like where an engineering tool would become in handy, because I can actually mark out specific things. But so there we go. So we have this. I'm going to have a red line from here to here. This is our 300. So this is our... I'm just going to use tech tool. This is our 300. Right here. You are red. You white. 300. And a bit bigger. I like showing my work. So there we go. 300. This is 300. Just to help me out. And then here to here, or well, we also need our bisector, which I think it's about right here. And then we have our red line, the straight line that we're trying to aim for. And so this right here is our spot. This is where we want it, right there. So technically, this could be any number. 2 more lines and you got a cube. Yeah, I mean, welcome to Minecraft. But anyways, this is what we're aiming for. This is our spot. So we gotta figure out mathematically what is this radius right here. So this is our R. This is what we're looking for. So I think, is this a safe assumption to say that this is R? I don't know. I'm not the greatest when it comes to this. What is this angle? Because this is technically, this is a bisector of hexagon's angles. Hexagon, internal angle of a hexagon. I know there's a mathematical way of doing this. 120. So this is, isn't it half the? It is not half the radius, because I just checked with how we with the renderer we have. Isn't that at pi fourths? Get the angle. Well, this is okay. Well, anyways, this is 60 degrees right here. This right here is 60 degrees. So this right here is 30 degrees because this is a bisector of that. So we have 30. The thing is that I know that's 30 because this is 30. This is a bisector of that, and this is a bisector of that, and the whole thing's 120, so it's a fourth of that. I don't know what these other angles are. I could say this is 30. Wait. I'm trying to pull up so many high school math things in geometry. Use sine rule to get the length. Sine rule. Yes. Give me a minute. Sine rule. A is equal to sine A sine B. So alpha is the side length, which we have as 300 here. Oh, wait, that's what we want. Yes. So we have A, which is 300, or B in this case. Let me pull up the sine rule so you guys see what I'm saying. So we have our B side, which is 300, and then we have 30. Oh, that's not the opposite though. This is the opposite. So what's this angle? And then we need to get this, which is 30. So we have that. We're just missing this last angle. I could assume it is this is also 30, which, to be fair, it already looks like 30, and if I don't get, let me just assume it's 30, because if it's not, we'll know, because it'll look wrong. But we'll just assume this is 30. So this is 60, and then the total triangle is 180. So this is 120. It could be? Okay. And so A tells us 360 divided by 12. That's 30. 120. So it tells us this is 173. Which, in terms of 300, is 173 times, or divided by 300, is this. So this is our, so it wasn't a half, but it was a little over a half, and it was a little under, it was like halfway between there, which makes sense. So I did this. I'm not going to go that exact with it. Yeah, sure, why not? So with all that math in place, does this give us a good one? I would say, wow, would you look at that? That is a working thing, I think. I'm not for sure. This may not be exact. In fact, let's go to the forensics. Let me go to the forensics. New. Okay, so we have ourselves a screenshot. So I'm going to try. It looks pretty convincing that this is the same. Like, I can see a little bit of a difference between the tops of these, but like it's barely a difference to where I am. Like, maybe that just comes from more. That just comes from more accuracy in terms of like adding more sixes, but like I think that's perfectly okay. So that means that we can do the same thing for B, but with 0.5 and the same radius. One. Oh, well, I forgot to give it its own. I mean, let me pull up this as well. I mean, if this was an accurate, like as accurate as possible, that looks pretty good. And these look the same distances, which means I think the math is right. Either it's right or it's good enough, which I'm good for good enough because there's not anything exact with what we have here. But I say that's pretty good. Like, look at that. So our next one we can add is D, which is, I think, the simplest out of any of them because it has no angle and nothing in terms of radius because it's just plain in the center. Which, maybe that's just a positive for doing such a thing. But, whatever. So we have this, right? Oh my gosh, I forgot to start the timer. Oh no. Oh no. Can I? Oh no. I'm gonna get like 4 hours and 10 minutes. This is terrible. I just stopped the timer because darn it, hold on. There we go. Does this, hold on, I gotta make this live. Okay. And if I minimize this, does that pause it? It does not. Okay, good. So we just have this timer up and nothing will happen. Okay. Whatever. So we did do that. We do that. Yes, we did. So now we have to do the same for C and E, which it's the same thing. It just bisects this, but what's the radius? So I think what I wanted this to happen is this be the same one. Wait. Can I just... Let me just make it the same radius. Let me see how that turns out. So C, this one has... Is it 2? Is it 2.5? 0.5? 1.5. 1.5. And I'll just use the same radius for now. It does not look the same. Because I wanted these two triangles to be the same. So I don't know if that's the same. I don't think these two triangles are the same. I think this one's further to the right. They're good. They're good here because they're the same distance. Obviously, they're gonna look good in the middle, but I don't think it's gonna look good in terms of like this triangle compared to this triangle. Let me see, because I also want this to be like the same distance, like these 1, 2, 3, 4 lines to be the same distance, which I don't think we're gonna achieve here. So from here to here, what is going back here? What is this line now? How long is this? Which we have 300. This is our 30. And then we can also just extend this so like this entire line is 600. Oh, we can make a Pythagorean theorem. Oh. So what I mean by that is we're gonna draw more lines. We're gonna have our extended line go to here, and this entire thing is 600 because the radius is 300 times 2. But then right here, as you can see, we have a right angle. And so 600, and then remember, this is what we're looking for, with 30, and then, oh, but we don't know this one. We don't know this one, which is not good. We could know this one, actually. So 300, wait, this is divided by 4. Is it divided by 4? Hold on. Distance between hexagon points. Ooh. Ooh. Pointy top orientation. Width is... The width is the square root of 3 times the size. And the height is... But we're not looking for... Are we looking for the height? I think we're looking for the height. So it's square root of 3 times the size. So it'd be square root of 3 is the width divided by 4. That would be our radius if we were exact. I just closed out. Oh my goodness, I just closed out of the YouTube page. Now I don't know what you guys are saying. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. I'm gonna stop that. Where is the... Hold on, am I just an idiot? Where's the live? Where is it? I'm confused. I am so confused. Go live? Go live. Here it is. Perfect. There we go. Thank you, Vincent. I was about to say thank you, Vincent, for coming. It's very fun doing math with you. But I think we get this. So math dot square root of 3 divided by 4. I think that's right. Ooh, I don't know that one actually. Let me look at. Let me do the E. Well, this is C. Thanks, I guess. I mean, you did do math with me. That is a factual statement. You did do math with me. There's nothing you can say or do about it. Let me see what this looks like with... Oh, I forgot to do it again. E. So here's what we have. I don't think those are the same triangles. It is not. I don't think so. Is it? You see, I'm not for sure. Oh wait, that's divided by 4, right? Oh, wait, that's the width. That's right. That's right. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not for sure. You want me to draw lines? Okay. Let's bring it into the... Bring it in. So drawing. Get the angles. Everything is easy. All right. I believe in you. Ahmed, I believe in you. Do a different color, orange. So we have this. Oh gosh, that wasn't a straight line. Straight line. So here's this. This is that. And I'll also do the same for here. Pretending I can draw good. I mean, at this point, it's not like I need specific stuff. And so right here, this, between all these is what we're aiming for. So it does not look, now that I'm looking at this, these lines, like this line to here, do not look the same. This looks like it's almost there. Like, let me do something like this. And then what we can do is compare this. Maybe it's just because it's it's an illusion. Oh, they are the same length. Oh. Wow. Okay. Well. So these are the same length. It's shocking. So it just doesn't look right in terms of triangles. So now I will draw it in terms of triangles between these two. We have this. This is the triangle this one makes. So I'm going to try to see if this matches this triangle. So I can actually just move this. So we're going to match it to where these two. Ooh. Issue has been brought up. These are not the same in terms of triangles. So that's not good, obviously. So because of this, I think we need to fix this to where this triangle is the same as this or is this is the same distance from this. So this is, if I remember correctly, this is 5, 7, 6 repeating. That's the distance from here to here. But to get the same triangle, is it? It should. If it's the same radius, it should be the same triangle, right? Send a pic for the shape. Yeah, gotcha. The problem is like the shape that this is quite horrible because like this isn't even a straight line. This is like these are supposed to be straight lines, but they're not. I mean, I guess it gives it a little bit of like depth, if that makes sense. Like if like this, I don't know, it like bulges out like a globe would, but I don't know. You can take a screenshot of this. I mean, I could try to put this in an image sharing service, image sharing. You know what? I'll just put it in the Discord. Are you in the Discord? I could just put it in the Discord. Save as. I'll just take a nice screenshot of it. General. Boom. There you go. Now you can have that image. Discord link, is it not? Oh, it's because I didn't put anything in the. Let me grab my share. Invite people. Hidden. I would like this to have no limit, and I would not like this to expire. Never. Generate a new link. Copy. I'll put it in the description. Save. So there we go. But let me draw the triangle that goes between here and here and see what that is. So there's that. Here's that. Do you see it in general, by the way? I put it in general. So this is where, just from rough estimates, this is where our circle should be. So like if I did something like this. Let me see how this looks. Just to confirm what my suspicions. Boop, 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 boop. Wrong there. Turn it this way. This is definitely not exact enough to be a like mapping of it, but this should help with seeing how it looks. And obviously this one's pretty simple down here. We can just from eyeballing it, it looks like it goes here. So looking at that, it looks like these are the same distances apart. I can confirm by drawing a line, an orange line between here and here and here and here. Yeah, that looks quite literally like an equilateral triangle. if that makes sense. Yeah, that is definitely the same length. Like minus the inaccuracies of drawing, but this is definitely the same length. So I guess it is the same radius. Let's look at that actually. So did I put the same radius, and we like did we look at this before, or did we just skip past that because we just didn't think it would work? What's the, I forgot what I said. Maybe just because let me make it look complete. Well, what's this distance? So this says this was twice the height as this length right here. Or sorry, from here to here, it's twice the height. Oh, because it is. So it's twice the height. So this one's just 0.5. That is much easier. F is much easier than the others. R times. So it'd be, so what is this? AB. AB is R times. So our radius. Okay, so AC. So square root of 3 divided by 2. Okay. Math dot square root of 3 divided by 2. And this is for E. Wait a minute. I think we just figured out what this magical number is. Let me just confirm. I think we literally just confirmed our magical number. Minus F, because F is a different thing. That is 0, 1, 2, 3. That is 3 with a radius of 0.5. Because that has different dimensions. So let's look at that. So I see that issue. I think you found that length, which I need to go half that. So it was that divided by 4. But it seems like that's our number for any of those. I think that's the same number for all that. It isn't. The problem is because like I'm trying to find E, which is supposed to be halfway between A and B, right? So it's supposed to be definitely not that. Am I just an idiot? I'm probably just an idiot. What was it? It was not any of these. It was A. That was 0.576, and so it was B. The others not so much. So this is what we have in terms of everything, minus the lines, obviously, because we haven't drawn any of the lines. So sure, E is half the distance. I want E to be. Well, I'm not actually sure E is half the distance. So actually, your math might help us because we now know the distance. It's from to the midpoint, which is the square root of 3 divided by 2. So we have to figure out that length. How do you get E? That's the problem, is I haven't defined anything mathematically. Yeah, I just literally drew it and hoped, because that looks good and I want these to be the same triangle. Technically, if we did, E is this far apart from, if we want those triangles to be the same. So if we did that, this is what our shape would be. Because, to get these triangles to look the same. If from these to this and this and this is, that's what it is. That's the point. So I'm not for sure in terms of if this is the way to go, though, because obviously, like we got it mathematically. It's just in terms of how this looks. Because this isn't even, the problem is this isn't even a regular pentagon, because this is 0.5. So I'm not for sure which way would be the smartest way to go about this, because technically these are all equilateral triangles. Like, I don't know if the symmetry matters as much, if that makes sense. I think thing is, we also have 4 hours to make this. I shouldn't be worrying over the mathematical precision over all this. That's just get out paint. Don't save. I shouldn't be worrying about this. I think it is perfect. All right, we're gonna go with this. We are gonna go with this. So yeah. I think I'm going to agree with you just for the sake of time. So another thing is we probably should put the letter here. So after we draw that, now we need to probably do just a white letter. Not going to do anything. Also not mix hex codes like that. Context dot fill text. It's going to be an X and Y, but I want to make everything centered. So text align is equal to center. Context dot text baseline is equal to middle. And then we want to draw the letter A. So this should draw the letter. Oh, I forgot to define the font. This is doing a lot of stuff I don't want to do. Font is equal to I think size should be the font size. I'm just gonna do Arial right now. I don't really care about that specific stuff. So let's see how this looks. Perfect. That is what we're looking for. So we just do the same, but for the rest, B, C, D, E, and F. So now, I refreshed the wrong page. I refreshed the YouTube grading page. Now we have, well, at least the beginnings of it. I don't need you anymore. We have the beginnings of what this looks like. So let me zoom out so I can get it all on the page. So we have the beginnings of this, which looks pretty good. I think after we add the lines, we can it'll definitely look much better, and obviously shape it, or not shape it, but not just have dots, just a straight everywhere. That's not a word, but whatever. So I think we're gonna be good on spaces. So I'm just gonna minimize that. We already 160 lines of code right there. I'm gonna call this not connections, because not really connections. I'm just gonna call it connections, actually. Connections. And I'm gonna do it kind of like how a grid is defined, at least in a computer science grid, where it has whatever going for. So like we have yellow as our first one, and then we'll just have an array of what it's connected to, if I can do that. Yellow goes to, what does yellow go to? It goes to blue, A, B, and red. Let me have that up so I don't have to keep glancing back and forth. So we have yellow connects to blue, A, B, and red. And then our next one's going to be red, and red connects to yellow, B, E, and purple. Yellow, red, and then purple connects to red, E, F, orange. Yellow, and then orange connect to purple. This is great, isn't it? Just having so much fun with colors. And then green connects to orange, F, C, and blue. And then blue is connected to yellow, A, type it correctly, A, C, green. So that should be our main colors. And then we also need A. A is connected to blue, yellow, and D. And B. Oh, I forgot about B. B and D. And then we need the rest of it. Just gonna. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F. And then B is connected to red, yellow, A, and D. Which is all good. C is connected to, it's only connected to 3, which is going to be blue, green, and D. D connects to all of them. That's good. D connects to all the letters. That's A, B, C, and D. Oh, it connects to 5. It also connects to F. Connects to E. So E connects to D, and then red and purple. So red, purple, purple. And then F connects to green, purple, orange, and D. So I think that's all of our connections. And so what we can do is we can just draw a line between them in our renderer. So I think I'm going to make a function that just says let space to coordinates, because I don't want to have to keep rewriting this math, cosine, math, sine stuff. And I'm just going to say space, and it's going to return an x and y, where it's going to look like such. And then radius, which we don't have. We could do some. We could have a global one, but I think that's bad. So I'm just gonna have a radius be defined in that. So I'm actually gonna keep that there, and I think that's good. I probably should use const here, because these aren't ever going to change, and that's better for memory. So we just say return, or const, everything can be const. Const position is equal to space to coordinates of the current space and the radius, and then position dot x, position dot y, and the third you can say that is a magical number. Shouldn't change anything. Should not change anything here. It does not, which is what I expected. So, but what we need to do is, before we even draw any of these spaces, we need to draw the lines between them. So that's part of connections. So keys is going to be pretty similar. Hopefully it's going to be pretty similar. Dot for each space. And then we need another for loop for let other of space. Itch my nose. So other defines the space. So we can actually just do let or const position, essentially this again. And then we have const other position is equal to this, but for other. And then we have the starting point and the ending point. So let's get this line drawing. Begin path. Why did I that's not where it goes. This is where stroke style goes, but not begin path. Black line, context dot align width. Let's do 5 again. And then do that after all of that. So then context dot begin path, context dot close path, context dot what am I doing? Move to position dot x, position dot y, context dot line to other position dot x, other position dot y, and then we stroke it. Stroke. So this should work, I think. It works flawlessly. So what's the error? Because I know there's an error. Reading undefined at angle. So I think it's probably a typo. Blue, AB, red, yellow, blue, green, blue, yellow, ACB, purple, red, green, purple, orange. I don't see an typo right off the bat, but that could be a me thing. So let me just see where the error happened. So just space other. It was instant. At 193. Spaces of space. The angle. So it broke. It broke before anything could even happen. Yellow. And what was the error? Reading angle. That was the error. So spaces of yellow, which is right here. Which, yeah, so right here. Can I read properties of undefined at 193? So am I just being a dummy? Is it? Here, let me check something. Is it not right there? Ooh. Oh, other of space. That's not right. That's supposed to be connections of space. That's the error. All right. Hey. Would you look at that? That's pretty similar. I mean, obviously it's not the exact same because this one's hand drawn. This one's mathematically figured out. But yeah, these triangles look the same. Like it's got a nice symmetry to it. Yeah. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. That is nice. Good job, guys. Good job. We did it. So yeah, I mean, pretty pleased with the results in terms of that. I don't see any lines missing. I don't think. I'm trying to. It looks all good there. All the shapes are there. So yeah. Let me see. I mean, obviously resizing should still work. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not that. I think in the picture the length not half. That's why it's not the same. Okay. I was about to say I don't think. So is it not? It's not a perfect. It is perfect. It is mathematically perfect. You are correct. It is perfect. So I think in terms of, well, we're not completely done because we don't have the potato behind it, but I haven't loaded. I don't want to do any image loading at this point. So what do we got? We're at 1 hour. We are at 1 hour to draw the board, which is horrible. I'm not going to lie. So I think we got to speed things up. Another thing, so I think we do need to return. We need to bring back the or we can do something like, we could just hard code it and just put a hexagon there, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to put background points. That's just going to be the points that define the boundaries. So yellow, red, purple, orange, green, and blue. And so what we can do now is, before we even draw the lines, we draw this potato. In fact, we can load a potato image, right? I forgot where I got this potato image from. Let's look at for potatoes. Images. Let's bring you over here. So we have a bunch of potatoes. We need to get one potato. Let me do potato. We could do this potato. We could do, I think this one really defines like a potato. It is a cute potato. Oh, we could do one with a smiley face. You're right. That's all right. I think we could do this one. It might be a low res potato. Let me see if there's like a higher quality potato. Let me see. Save image as. Wow, that is a horrible name. Coding, exploding potatoes. I'm gonna just say this is called potato. I'm actually gonna edit it real quick. File, open, coding, exploding potatoes, potato. So here's our potato. Here's our texture for the potato. This is what we want. I'm essentially just going to increase it. Just increase the potato size. So it takes up the entire window, essentially. Yeah. Kind of looks like some sort of moon. But it's all potato. So yeah, save that. Okay, perfect. And so we can add that to the background. First we gotta load the image. So let's load it. We'll have a line that just says let potato load. Potato loaded. Good enough. So then let potato image. We'll just say that's equal to a new image with the source of potato.jpg, potato.jpg, and then we'll do potato image dot add event listener load. We could then say potato loaded is equal to true. So I'm going to make that one line. Potato loaded potato image. So this loads our potato image, and so now if potato loaded, then we can draw it. So context.draw image potato image, and I'm just going to do it in the top left corner. See what it looks like. Wow, look at that. So because I misspelled what the image is called. It's called potato. There we go. And then, yeah, it's drawn there. I don't think I want it particularly drawn like that. So we need to do something like minus potato image dot width divided by 2, just so it's centered. And potato height. So now it's centered on the potato. And then I'm going to be doing some Pro Canvas Gamer moves where we do something like where we use our clipping path, which I just learned recently. Well, it was not that recent. It was like a month or two ago, but I just learned about it. So we need to have a clip, or well, that's after the fact. It's like a clip path. So it's like begin path dot close path. So we have to draw the image first before we can clip. And so with that, now we need to use our background points. So we need to do for I equals 0, I is less than background points dot length I plus plus. Then we need to get a position. So another const position is equal to space to coordinates for background points of I. If I is equal to 0, context dot move to position dot x, position dot y, context dot line to position dot x, position dot y, and that needs to have an else to it. So else context line to. And then after we do that, after we close the path, we do context dot clip. So with that, this should draw a potato as its background. Wow, that does not do that. How dare you? Am I just reading? Is this not how you do clip? Context 2D clip. We're gonna look at it together. Yeah, that's what I want. Is this not right? Begin path arc clip. Oh, is it after the fact that I draw the image, or I do it after? I thought it was before. Oh, is the clipping? I don't think the clipping was doing it right because it's based off the top left. Because it doesn't. That one doesn't do translating, which is kind of weird. Not gonna lie, but whatever. Plus canvas dot height divided by 2. I don't know if this is right, but I'm going to try it. Yeah, it's not right because it didn't work. Background points of I, that's position, move to in line 2. Which I don't know why it's not clipping. So set the clip to be the intersection of the circle and the square. Could do new path 2D. Probably new path 2D to be honest. Instead of begin path. Let clipping path equals new path 2D. Clipping path dot move to I don't think this will fix it, but it could. Who knows? Maybe I was just doing it wrong. What I thought. But it has something to do with the translate. So what if I just move it out here, and then canvas dot width divided by 2 minus, and then canvas dot height divided by 2. That is my height, yeah. Potato image divided by 2. Oh, I could do. I know what I could do. I could do some simplification. Canvas width that divided by 2. And then the heights divided by 2. And then the canvas width divided by 2 plus that. That's supposed to be height or whatever. Height. And I can format it by doing that. I think this could work. Definitely doesn't. Am I just an idiot? Here, instead of clipping, let me see if the clips the issue. Okay, yeah. So it's obviously doing it, and then I can do context dot line or context dot or clipping path dot. How do I draw? Do I just do a context dot path? How do I do this? How do I do this? Let me go back here. Draw a path 2D canvas. Oh, it's just okay. Okay, it's literally just put it into the stroke. Dot stroke clipping path, and it's gonna hopefully. I can't do that just yet. You've been undefined. Nice. Okay, well, so the clipping path is not working, obviously. Let me just say context. Just for now, context.begin path. Context.close path. We don't need save. We don't need restore. In fact, we don't even need to draw the image. The clipping path is not defined somewhere. You're right. Okay, so something's just not showing up, which is weird. I highly doubt that this is the issue. But we can try that. Yeah, that's what I thought. So background points. Console.log position. Oh my gosh. You know what the issue is? I forgot to define the radius. It's always the simple things, you know. It's never something so nice, so simple. It's literally just the most, or it is the most stupid things. So whatever. Does this work now? Oh, it doesn't. Oh, I know why. Because it's. I'll put context here instead of clipping. There we go. Now, would you look at that? Technically, the top and bottom isn't defined, but I mean, once you re-enable the points and the lines and all that, it just works. So there we go. So now we have the board after an hour and 15. So now I think what we need to do is we need to define the pieces, either the pieces or how they move or something about that. So here we go. So it's essentially, this is essentially the same thing as this now, except one's a mathematically perfect version in this one. The only difference now is that this one allows pieces to be moved, so I can just enable all the pieces, and this allows pieces to be moved again. So like blue, you can just you're gonna move. You can just move blue to any of these pieces, which you know, we'll get there. So let's actually start defining that. We have all this code. I don't think we need this right now anymore. I was just allowing that to happen. And so yes, so now we have the board. Let's put some pieces in there. So const pieces is equal to an array. Or should we do an array, or should we do another object? It's always like objects. Because each one has a name, so it's going to be pretty similar to how everything else is, with each one being a defined color. I know it has to have a space that it's on, and I'm going to assume this one's going to be on yellow, because it's yellow, and I think that's really about it. And the rest can have the rest of that. So we have yellow, red, purple, looking at the image on my other monitor, purple, orange, yellow, red, purple, orange, that stuff, purple, red, orange, yellow, red, purple, orange, green, and then yellow, red, purple, orange, green, blue. And so that's so far all we need, because we've already defined our spaces up here, and they have their own coordinates. We can just use that to define where the pieces are. In fact, I am going to move this around so that this stays with somewhat its image. So with that, we can try to draw the pieces, which will go on top of all this. So object.keys pieces for each piece. We can try drawing it. Since there's not going to be any lettered ones, I'm just going to try to use the piece it's on. So what should we define this as? Like, obviously we could just use a simple shape, like something like this. So let's actually we do that real quick. Piece.space, or well, pieces of piece.space with the radius, with the radius we already have, and we could just draw something there. At this point, we could just do a rectangle. There shouldn't be anything too crazy about it. Fill style is equal to the piece color it is, and then fill rect is equal to position.x, position.y. We've made it 40, so I'm going to do 50, 30 by 50. That should make it like a nice tall rectangle. Oh, well, let me put a stroke to it. Context dot stroke styles equal to black, and then also stroke rect with the same thing, but it's also not centered. So let's figure that out. So obviously, if we know the width, which is 30, we can just say minus 15. That will at least center it horizontally. There we go. But then we also want to actually put it on the piece itself. In fact, we could just put the bottom on there, so it's actually just minus 50. So where like the feet, like how this is, and then how the potatoes are where their feet are there. Which, I mean, that works. I mean, there you go. There's all the pieces. So, in fact, we can actually do some rudimentary moving by just hard coding where the pieces go. So I'm going to say the blue piece is going to go to D. And there you go. And see, and it moves it. And then we can move the red piece like E. And that moves to E. And so, like, I mean, we already have some rudimentary moving because of how we did this system, because we just defined where the piece goes. And with the connections, we can actually know where the piece can go based on what space it's on. So I think we're already on a pretty nice start. And so we can literally just like, well, actually, I don't know. I think our next thing is to get these pieces moving, but how do we do this? So obviously we already have their connections based off what space they are, so they can go to whatever they are. We can highlight, so like say we're at yellow right now. The pieces can highlight the blue, A, B, and red, and then you can click on it, and then it could work, which is kind of neat. I think that's a good idea. So let's try to do that. Actually, we also need a concept of turns. So we need a variable. Let's put that above pieces. It says that piece turn is equal to 0, and then we could just do 0, 1, 2, 3. Like we could just do that. So yeah. So this one is going to be part of spaces because that's the ones that get highlighted. So we render them, and then if, oh crap, we need player names. Let piece names is equal to object dot keys of pieces, and so that way we actually know which one it is. And so what we can do now is we can say if pieces name of current turn, is that what I called it? Current something turn, piece turn. If pieces of piece name of piece turn dot space is equal to space, then we need to highlight it. So we can do that because all these are circles, you see. So I'm actually just going to copy. Where'd it go? Oh, it's because I opened up connections. I'm actually going to copy this, but instead of doing it hard coded, we're just going to pause, position. Okay, I did spell position, and then instead of fill, it's going to be stroke. But this time, it's going to be the stroke style is going to be white, and we'll just keep it at 5, but we'll do that. So right now it is yellow's turn. Oh, but yellow. We can't do this space. We have to do connections of the space. And so it should highlight none of them. Oh wait, wrong one. This connections of the space dot includes space. Broke stuff. So now it should, yes. So now it highlights the spaces it can move to. So let's move up. So piece turn. Piece, not names, piece turn plus. And so now it's red, then purple, then orange, then green, then blue. And then it goes, oh, can't do that. Probably should be more careful about that because technically piece turn can go above the index, so we just got to make sure anytime we increment to the next turn, we just make sure it doesn't go over or just loops back around. So yeah, so now that we have that, we can click on it. So I guess we can right here. We need to detect for any clicks, which we can't do because we have no other window things. So let's add a mouse object to the global scene. This is what I usually like to do, just so everything has access to all the mouse information. I just kind of turn the event system that JavaScript has inherently into a global object. It's kind of a bad way of doing things, but I don't care enough to stop myself. So that's the resize. So we need to add window dot add event listener click. I'm going to say mouse down actually, because we might want to do something with mouse up, and we need to get the event that comes from that. So if mouse dot position is equal to mouse dot position x is equal to event dot client x. Mouse dot position y is equal to event dot client y, and then finally mouse dot button is equal to mouse or event dot not bubbles button. And so there we go. And so with that, we know where the mouse is clicked and what specifically what button it is, but we just use the left mouse button. So when we are looking for the spaces, if it does include a space, we also need to check if it's been clicked. So if we also need a distance function. We need distance. Const distance is equal to point A, point B. And then we just return math.square root of math.pow a.x minus b.x to the second power plus a.y minus by. And so this should return the distance. In fact, we don't even need like this super long syntax. We could just literally do something like this. So there we go. So now we have a distance function. So now we can go down here and say if distance between the mouse, currently, mouse position, and the position of the space is less than whatever the size is, which is 30, and mouse.button is equal to 0, which stands for left. First, cancel that mouse click, and then we need to select that as our next piece to move. So this is where we need to do like where we need to loop around piece turn if we need to, which is going to be piece names.length. So this makes sure that we don't go around. And then finally we need to actually move the piece. So it should be this. Or this specifically is equal to space. So what this does is this just goes through, and if this, okay, let me refresh. If one of these are clicked, it will move that space to its piece. So like this yellow one, if I click here, okay, it doesn't work. So let me just say if mouse.button is equal to 0, console.log the distances. Oh, that's when we need mouse up, so we can turn, so we have to turn off the mouse button. Add event listener, mouse up, event mouse dot button is equal to -1, And why not? We'll just also add the mouse positions in there as well. So if we go back down here, I was surprised it said console.log that. I don't think it did. Ooh, that is far away. Oh, I know why. It's because the mouse position isn't translated correctly. Because it's technically translated based off the that stuff. So we have to do canvas.width divided by 2, y position of y plus canvas.height divided by 2. And so now it should work. It moved red. Oh, that's not right. I need to do piece turn after. Just order things. So I move yellow there. I move red here. I move purple here. I move F there. Oh my goodness gracious, this is working. And so we can move yellow here, move red there. We can move purple to yellow, move orange to purple, move green back to green, move blue to where red is. Ooh, so that doesn't look very, very cool. But we are moving. So we are moving around the board. It's just, you know, it's not the most perfect movement, but we did it. We did some movements. So I'm also gonna probably add a indicator to tell which turn it is. So that would be, I mean, that can just be right up here, just context dot fill style is equal to, well, we can actually do it to where it's the color of the piece. So we can do piece names of this. So it's equal to that, and then context dot font is equal to 50 pixel Arial, context dot text align left, context dot text baseline top, and then context dot fill text. Actually do that so I can do turn, and this needs to go like at 25. So yeah, yellow's turn, so we just move yellow to like here, and then it's red's turn over here, purple's turn, orange's turn, green's turn, blue's turn, and then it goes back and forth. So yeah, wow, we did it. We did some movements. So now we don't even need this anymore because we could just move our pieces. So I'm just not going to save. So I mean that's a pretty good place where we're at. Yellow's turn. You can move back to yellow. Purple's turn. There we go. Orange's turn. There. Green's turn. Right there. Blue's turn. Right there. And we just move our pieces around. So obviously, I mean, we're not there yet because we haven't added any of the rules. We just added like the basic movement of pieces, which, you know, isn't the full game. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good place at an hour and a half. So we have 2.5 hours more to finish the game. So let's actually start implementing some of the gameplay, like the whole point of the game, without the cards just yet. And so what that means is we need to keep track of who has the potato and who is still in the game. So we can add that. Space yellow has potato. We'll just say you have the potato for now. Has potato true. And then we also need not dead, out, false. And so I'll put these all as false. And so this is like our status. So yellow currently has the potato and no one is out. So in fact, we probably need to do something different here because the piece names probably need to do current pieces, and that's just going to be here. So, and what we can do is we can make a function called get current pieces instead of current pieces, and this will just return the pieces that are still currently in the game. So we can do object.keys, and this could be a one-liner because I just love those pieces, and then we need to filter any piece that's not in the game. So pieces of piece that's still in the game, so not out. And so this should get us the current pieces. So now instead of anytime we use current pieces or pieces names, we'll just say that current pieces is equal to get current pieces. And anytime I say piece names, use that. And so that shouldn't break anything at this current point. I'm just gonna move players around. Yeah, shouldn't move anything. But another thing I need to do is just not display players that are not in the game. So, and then we can just do that by if piece, or I mean, we could just also just do that by pieces, pieces of piece dot out return. Just don't draw the player if the piece is out. So what we can do is say orange is now out. So pieces dot orange dot out is equal to true. So now obviously orange disappears, and if we move around a little bit, it just skips orange's turn, and orange is no longer in the game. Which, I mean, that works. I mean, that's the whole point of that variable. So yeah, so I think that's good. I think if we do need a check to see when this loops back over, and we need to have let round. So we have also rounds is equal to 0. So if we go to here, we increment pieces turn. So and then if piece turn is greater than the amount of players, or sorry, not greater than, is equal to the amount of players, we'll reset piece turn back to 0, and we'll increment rounds. So perfect. And then if rounds is equal to 3, we kill the current person with a potato. So we find the potato. In fact, we probably shouldn't have this. This is probably a bad idea because there's only one person who's going to have it. So we could just say current potato holder in a variable. I don't know why I did that. So we have that current potato holder. And it's just going to be yellow at this point, like it was last time. But we just say pieces of current potato holder dot out is equal to true. And then we need to we should, and then current potato holder is equal to that. So yeah, what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to randomize it at the beginning, and I could do that by if current potato holder is blank, then we just randomly assign it to one of the current pieces. So we do pieces current potato holder is equal to current pieces, and the random index, so math dot random times current pieces dot length, and then we got floor it, math dot floor. And so this will allow us to have a randomized potato holder anytime it gets clear. So that's good. And rounds equals 3, and then we also need to clear rounds. So yeah, so this is just this is the gameplay element. Then we need to probably draw, like, so here's where we can do it. So if this is where we can say show where it is. So if piece is equal to current potato holder, we draw a different stroke. I'm gonna say what. So yellow has it, green has it, red has it again, orange has it, blue has it. Okay, let's refresh. So green has the hot potato. So if we do 3 rounds, which isn't hard to do because technically I haven't even added any transferring just yet, it should eliminate green. Yep, so there it is. So it went around 3 turns, green has been eliminated, and so now blue has it. And so if we do 3 more rounds, I don't know when. There we go. Another player's been eliminated. So now we are down to 4. Moving around. Just keep moving around. And there we go. Yellow has been eliminated. So essentially, it's like just luck who doesn't get eliminated in this iteration of the game, which isn't the greatest gameplay wise. There's no gameplay. See, there goes purple, and now red's gonna win because orange has it. And there's not much you can do about it. There you go. And so now, red won because he's the last player standing. So that's pretty much the gameplay element part of it. That's like the main rules part of it. Let's actually now, when we move on to a piece, if we haven't, so we need to do it here before we increment the piece turn. We say space, and so we need to go through all of our current pieces. For let I equals 0, let same space. Actually, so we have lots of if statements. This is probably bad code, but I don't care. I honestly do not care. So if the current piece, is the current potato holder, then we do all this. So let same space is equal to that, and then go through all the current pieces. I is less than current pieces dot length plus, and then if current pieces of I is not, first of all, is not, if it's equal to the piece itself, so like if it's equal to it, we're just gonna not care about it because obviously, if you're on a piece by yourself, it doesn't really matter. However, if it's not that, and the current piece is, if current piece is, or wouldn't need to pieces of current piece. Oh crap! I zoomed out. Zoom back in. if pieces of current piece dot space is equal to the current space is equal to current potato holder pieces current potato holder dot space same space dot push current pieces of I. So then that way if we land on the same pieces, we can transfer it. So then we can just say if same space dot length is greater than 0, as in there's pieces with the same speed when the same space, we need to assign it to that. So what we can do is let new potato holder is equal to a pretty similar one to how we did this. And then this is, instead of current pieces, it's going to be same space new potato holder, and so then new potato holder. We just can we do this? Can we do current potato holder is equal to a randomly assign 1? Can we do that? So it transfers it onto it, and then it will continue with it. So I think that's right. So yellow has it. So I'm going to move here, and just to test it, red is going to move here, and then blah blah blah. People move. Yellow still has it, so that did not work. So let me test this same space. So move here. Obviously, it's not the same space. Oh. That's the issue. That is the issue. It's not. So it only. I don't think we need to do this, because it can happen where you just stumble upon one with it. So like, for example, orange has it. So I'm going to do all the movements real quick. Oh no, that doesn't work. That does not work, because then it'll go back and forth on if they're on the same space for a while. So it's only if the current is just the person who moved. So let's same space. So essentially, it's all. It should only occur for people who move onto the space. So if pieces of I'm gonna take a small break real quick. Where's my? I don't know how to break anymore.